He has prestigious clients, including presidents, heads of state, ministers, and other high-ranking officials. Those are his clients. In this podcast episode, I haven't found anything quite like it on YouTube or other podcasts, making it truly unique and insightful. I'm excited about this special topic and look forward to our insightful conversation on it. So what is it about? My guest will introduce himself prior to our topic discussion. Welcome, Ambassador Dr. Matthias Spies, to the elegant and prestigious Mandarin Oriental Hotel in the vibrant city of Dubai. I'm genuinely pleased we could successfully organize this significant meeting, allowing us to share important insights and often overlooked aspects with my community that truly warrant greater attention and discussion. Many people overlook these aspects and few actively notice or engage with them. I believe that a significant number of people began to contemplate this particular issue for the very first time during the challenging times of the pandemic. I firmly believe that many people did, and within my circle of friends, your exceptional service was a frequent and engaging topic of conversation. We discussed it a lot. So maybe you could briefly introduce yourself, and then I think we'll be right into it.
Mr. Kreuder, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation. It's truly a pleasure and an honor to sit here with all of you today, and I sincerely appreciate the warm welcome you've extended to me. You're very welcome. I'm genuinely looking forward to having this conversation.
My name is Ambassador Dr. Spies. I am a well-established international title dealer and a trusted advisor to numerous presidents and governments around the world.
Imagine what title trading might entail. What can I buy there?
Well, we can't actually buy anything. Sure, we can definitely arrange things to suit your needs, but unfortunately, you cannot simply buy a title. A title may be awarded or associated with a diplomatic position, yes, but ultimately, you cannot simply buy it.
What kind of titles are those? What kind of positions are those? What should I imagine that to be?
There exists a wide variety of opportunities in the realm of international relations, including various diplomatic positions and roles. These encompass titles such as Special Ambassador, Head of Mission, or Counselor, which simply translates to an embassy advisor. Additionally, there are several advisory roles, meaning one acts as an advisor or envoy for a specific ministry or a minister. For instance, one might serve as a special envoy for investment and trade, which is crucial for fostering economic relationships. Furthermore, we should not overlook the important function of general and honorary consulates in facilitating worldwide mediation and cooperation among nations.
A specific name immediately comes to mind for me. I believe for most people hearing or seeing this now, this name won't mean anything anymore. That's just how it is for us. That's the reality of our generation. Consul was frequently featured in the media during that time period. So that's more something that I believe my father managed to cope with to some extent during his life. But until we finally met in person, I didn't really know much at all. So are you familiar with Consul Vaiha?
Certainly, yes. I certainly know Mr. Consul Vaiha quite well. Consul Vaiha sadly passed away a year and a half ago at the venerable age of 85, but we cherished a warm and close family friendship that spanned several decades throughout our lives. He would visit me at my beautiful finca located in sunny Spain for at least a month each year, along with his lovely wife, creating wonderful memories together. For the past 20 years, I have diligently managed all of his international trips and client meetings, ensuring everything ran smoothly. Since his passing, I have also been entrusted with overseeing all diplomatic functions and positions, which have consistently been promoted and offered under my brand name, reflecting the ongoing legacy of his work.
Before we get to the details of how all this works, why does this exist? Why do your clients desire to achieve such a specific status or level of recognition? What is the motivation behind it?
Well, the motivation for individuals can vary greatly depending on numerous factors. Every individual client has a specific need to be addressed. Okay, whether it is for reasons of prestige, such as enhancing one's social standing, or due to a current legal case, like a challenging divorce, pressing tax issues, or the exciting opportunity for a business expansion, each client comes with a unique and diverse background that informs their specific motivations for wanting this service.
What impact did the pandemic have? I hadn't truly considered it in depth before, but during the pandemic, I realized there were substantial and significant restrictions on personal freedom, which impacted my perception of life greatly. Travel restrictions were imposed by authorities. And if you had a diplomatic passport in that particular moment, your life would have been significantly easier and much more manageable. To what extent do you currently feel the ongoing effects of the pandemic on your business operations and overall performance?
Yes, the pandemic actually provided us with a significant boost in unexpected ways. We had a considerable amount of work to complete because numerous business individuals could no longer travel for meetings. Yes, while these Zoom calls can assist with certain tasks and discussions, they still require meaningful personal contact for deeper connections. Some things can't be accomplished via phone or Zoom. Regarding the ongoing pandemic situation, for example, I was sitting quietly on my peaceful finca in the beautiful countryside of Spain, reflecting on the world outside and how it has changed. And I distinctly remember that it was a Thursday afternoon. I received an urgent call informing me that a state of emergency has been officially declared across the entire country of Spain. Okay, my better half was in Germany, specifically in Munich at that time. And I picked up the phone, called her and said, hey, you need to come home as soon as possible. Okay, the response was, yes, I'm coming anyway this weekend. I said, no. Yes, leave everything behind for now. Come home tomorrow. It doesn't matter what it costs, come home. All right, it truly was a wise decision. Yes, on Sundays, a state of emergency was declared in Spain. Flying was banned for everyone.
All activities were fully stopped.
My neighbors were also significantly affected by this. Yes, my neighbors, including even the wealthiest millionaires, couldn't access their luxurious properties. Yes, they found themselves stuck in Germany or wherever it may have been, possibly in Italy, France, or another similar location. Yes, but these individuals were also significantly affected and could no longer travel as they used to.
Yeah, and it's a world of difference whether I'm sitting in Germany, nice too sure, but with bad weather and depression or whatever, right? Versus sitting in my property in Spain.
For example, I successfully arranged all the necessary documents through various embassies, and as a result, my friends and acquaintances were then able to travel to their properties without any issues or delays. I might be mistaken, but I actually found the corona pandemic surprisingly enjoyable. Yes, the entire diplomatic corps was indeed exempt from these specific travel restrictions that were imposed.
I want to come back to the why. The reason for this situation is, I believe, the existing travel restrictions. However, if I possess a diplomatic passport, I will be exempt from these travel limitations. What does that look like in everyday life? I no longer have to stand in the long, tedious tourist line at passport control. Instead, I enjoy a fast lane that allows me to go past everyone effortlessly. What should I know about my luggage? Will my checked luggage be included? How does this luggage situation impact my daily travel experiences? For instance, when I fly.
You're on the fast lane. You really don't even have to utilize this fast lane option. It appears you may require a diplomatic role or official function to achieve your objectives. As a diplomatic ambassador, I have access to a special entrance designated for the diplomatic corps. Yes, so it appears that you also have nothing in common with regular people anymore. An example would be a completely separate entrance to the building. There are also many additional privileges available to users. For instance, a consul is officially equipped with a special diplomatic passport, understood? Trade consuls, for example. And they are closely associated with numerous privileges and benefits. So this situation represents not only a significant impact on your travel activities, but also serves as a profound and intense intervention that could shape and alter various aspects of your future life in unexpected ways. Absolutely. You have an entirely unique set of opportunities available to you. You have access to incredible advantages and privileges that greatly enhance your experience when obtaining diplomatic status in various countries.
I need a few examples. So the fewest will have dealt with this. I have my own exclusive access. I am enjoying a peaceful time away from the hustle of tourists and regular travelers. Great. What else is there? How can I visualize that in daily life?
Just to mention a few examples, okay then. A diplomat cannot be arrested or punished under international law. The protection of premises includes your private residence, office, consulate, if you are a consul, and personal vehicle. These locations are secure and cannot be entered or searched without legal authority or consent, thereby ensuring your privacy and security are upheld. The protection of both correspondence and documents is considered to be immune from interception or disclosure. No legal obligation exists to testify as a witness. No enforcement measures. You are completely exempt from all taxes and duties.
And this is very important. We were just discussing the crucial topic of freedom of travel, particularly regarding free movement for official purposes under Article 27. As a diplomat, you have the right to move freely around the world.
No one can stop you.
Diplomats are fundamentally regarded as inviolable individuals who must be respected at all times. A diplomat is not obligated to get vaccinated against diseases.
These are just a few.
These are the rights? What about the duties? You mentioned your consulate. Could you please elaborate on how I should envision that? What are the specific duties and responsibilities if I am currently serving as an honorary consul, ambassador, or similar role?
The specific duties can vary significantly depending on the particular diplomatic necessity at hand. All right, now let's take a moment to discuss the fairly typical topic of an honorary consul, which is quite interesting. The specific duties of an honorary consul are determined through careful consultation with the respective embassy in question. A consul is there to provide essential support services for an embassy. This process is completed in consultation, so you won't need to issue any visas or anticipate a rush at your residence, all handled through consultation. Typically, these gifts of the neck are often seen as purely representative obligations or ceremonial tasks to fulfill. For instance, she often receives a prestigious invitation from the federal president to attend the elegant New Year's reception or the vibrant summer festival, as well as invitations on a state level from the state government, the prime minister, or to participate in various charitable events that support important causes in the community. As a distinguished consul, she is a highly welcomed guest at all gatherings and actively promotes every event with enthusiasm and dedication. Yes, typically these are obligations that are purely representative in nature.
At the same time, I naturally have access to a more extensive and higher level network that really doesn't quite exist. I am invited by the federal president to an event where all the other ambassadors will also be present.
The consular corps is included as well. Absolutely. There's truly no better network around. No.
Okay.
No, the nice thing is that you are more or less, what does more or less mean? You are on the same level as these people. Yes. You have fellow colleagues, other consuls, all considered equal in their roles. What's nice is that there are short communication paths. Yes, if you want to successfully achieve something like business expansion or any other goal, you don't need to make lengthy phone calls. You have a dedicated contact person available. If I desire something from a specific place, it makes sense that I wouldn't call myself. The secretariat manages that. Yes, but there's a difference in how calls are made. If a Mr. Miller happens to call, or if the individual on the line is addressed as His Excellency, the ambassador wishes to speak directly with Mr. Tralala. Okay, quick, and I have the man on the phone. Yeah, easy. The same principle applies to a consul as well. Yes, it makes it a lot easier. Yes, indeed. Everyone here is considered a colleague.
Now, it's not as if Ushi suddenly wakes up one morning and enthusiastically declares, "What a fantastic idea, I want to become an honorary consul," and then immediately picks up the phone to see just how quickly we can make this ambitious dream a reality. The individual must be both suitable for the role and adequately qualified for the position. What specific qualifications or conditions must this individual meet for you to even consider supporting them?
If someone approaches us, we promptly check the identity and background of the individual right away to ensure safety and security. That process occurs quietly in the background. Typically, the initial step involves conducting an Interpol inquiry to determine whether this individual is actually eligible for the requested action or investigation. All right, then, yes, it indeed becomes a more personal conversation between us. Yes, I personally review and analyze every case thoroughly. I talk to you just like now.
These are one-on-one conversations, usually conducted without the wife or any distractions present.
Yes, it's almost like a deep psychological conversation where I engage with these individuals. I wonder what their unique backgrounds and experiences are. Why do they feel the need to change their lives? Why do they desire to attain such a prestigious position? Yes, these are indeed individual conversations, and of course we also request a variety of other necessary documents. They are closely scrutinized multiple times to determine whether they truly fit into this small exclusive circle of individuals. Yes, that sounds easy enough. I will need to review some documents such as marriage and birth certificates and possibly a proof of assets along with a recent tax return. This way I can clearly assess whether I am dealing with a serious and trustworthy person. Yes, if you possess a police clearance certificate that documents 5 incidents, then unfortunately it's best to forget about it. Yes, in that case, I gladly decline your offer. and I assure you that I can confidently vouch for you, more or less, if I recommend you somewhere for an enjoyable evening. Okay, I'm taking back my own contacts now, and please don't be mad at me. I've reached a certain level of status by this point in my journey. I take great care in selecting very, very carefully the individuals with whom I want to collaborate and those I prefer to avoid entirely.
Spending 2 decades in a single business suggests you've succeeded in some way, highlighting your achievements over the last 20 years.
Absolutely, you are entirely correct about that point. I've been doing this for 20 years.
Consul Vire has dedicated an impressive 40 years to this work. With nearly 60 years of experience, I can confidently assert that Ambassador Spies is a well-recognized brand in its industry.
I'm not a one-man show. Yes, I have a talented team of professionals behind me, okay? A team of specialists. For example, tax advisors, that important topic, yes. Tax advisors who specialize in complex international cases possess the extensive experience needed to navigate global tax regulations. These are topics that no ordinary tax advisor knows. Yes, they are quite small and rarely look beyond their desk. In Germany, who knows what else is happening? These are professionals, lawyers. Not ordinary lawyers, but lawyers specializing in international law who are familiar with the regulations in individual countries. Who else do we have on the team? Protocol officers are extremely, extremely important roles. A government minister typically changes or is replaced every 4 years. The dedicated team supporting the minister will continue their work.
We have experienced protocol officers on our team who have dedicated an impressive 30 years to service.
And let us not forget that I am accompanied by several other esteemed consuls throughout this important journey.
We work together as a team, collaborating closely and individually discussing cases for deeper insights.
What can we do? Or should we stay out of it? Okay? However, in general terms, our clients tend to be extremely serious individuals, successful business people who operate on a global scale across various industries. It's rarely the local butcher, mullah from the small town of Castrop-Rauxel, but instead it is typically internationally active and highly reputable individuals, often including professionals such as doctors, lawyers, and notaries. So there exists a specific level of achievement or understanding. Of course.
If contact is made, the initial conversation and background research indicate that everything could align well. So, can I then confidently say that I would like to become the honorary consul of Belgium or Madagascar? Or could you please explain how that process works in more detail?
Mr. Kreuter, feel free to express anything you wish to say. Okay. Personal wishes will certainly be taken into careful consideration wherever it is feasible and possible. Okay, some people have truly wonderful memories and genuinely enjoy vacationing in the beautiful landscapes of Kenya. Okay, or they are currently active in their business endeavors. Yes, so personal wishes will be taken into account.
The choice to move or visit a country depends primarily on individual preferences and situations, as well as the advantages each country provides, such as job prospects, quality of life, and cultural experiences.
Okay. There is actually no supermarket specifically designated for diplomatic functions. These are custom-made solutions specifically tailored to meet our needs. And yes, that is indeed the answer to your question. After thorough consultation with the team regarding their usability and functionality, we can determine the most suitable places and platforms for deploying them effectively. One can also choose to represent a smaller country at the beginning of their career to gain valuable experience. And later in life, one might opt for a different opportunity, receiving offers based on individual circumstances and the unique nature of each situation they encounter.
So background research, everything fits conversation. You and your team thoughtfully consider what could fit here. Clients must travel to a designated country to meet with high-ranking officials, such as ministers and presidents. In these meetings, they communicate that they possess a valuable individual capable of meeting the official's needs and objectives. Exactly, that's how it looks. I must envision it that way.
Exactly. These are private and personal conversations that take place. So it's never conducted through a Zoom call. Instead, it involves personal visits to the specific country.
If I am convinced that they are an ideal candidate, well then, I will. Okay, logically, I know in advance I'll make a phone call, say, listen up, I have a reliable gentleman or lady who would like to represent the country.
Then I already get the info. Yes, okay, it's possible. Okay, then I travel to the country. In my professional network, my contacts are typically presidents of various organizations. During a conversation like this one, I take the opportunity to introduce them to each other, submit the necessary documents for review, and make a thoughtful recommendation based on their expertise and interests. Yes, and in most cases, they typically follow my thoughtful recommendation.
Then the candidate is either officially appointed or must still be approved by the parliament, depending on the specific form of government in place and its established procedures for such appointments. How should I imagine that?
Yes, of course. We've completed an initial review. If you had been a truly bad egg, we wouldn't have even reached this important step in our process. Certainly, the sending country will conduct another thorough check on you through its respective services to ensure all necessary protocols and regulations are followed. If that goes positively, it will happen because I already know I have checked it. Yes, typically your appointment will also be submitted for approval and consideration through the Parliament. So the Parliament will also hold a vote regarding your individual candidacy. Does Mr. Kreuter really fit well with us? Is he considered a good representative? Typically, based on my previous experiences, I can usually anticipate how this vote will ultimately turn out. Otherwise, I certainly wouldn't have recommended him for this position in the first place. Yes, so the Parliament will also conduct a vote on him, and then he will subsequently be officially appointed.
What kind of influence does holding such a prestigious position or title have on my residence? And could it also potentially impact the ownership or value of my property in any way? Will I suddenly have a sign outside at the garden fence saying, Embassy of Country XY? Or how should I imagine this practically?
Naturally, it significantly impacts your daily life, as well as your valuable property and its overall value. It affects everything, but you don't have to, for example, put barbed wire around your property. No, okay. If you would like to, you may certainly indicate your special status, should that be your wish or preference in this situation. Okay, and none of my children, whom I lovingly refer to as my kids, want that at all. All right, it all begins with that well-known email sign displayed prominently outside the residence or perhaps at the consulate, indicating the position of the honorary consul for a particular country, okay? Or honorary consulate. So that's how it starts. You may proudly display the official flag of the sending state at your residence or within the premises of your consulate for all to see. As the esteemed head of the diplomatic mission, which is indeed your role as a consul overseeing your own consulate, you have the privilege to proudly display a standard on your official vehicle, complemented by the national flag, symbolizing your position and the country you represent. You will receive your very own new license plate, whether it's designated as CD for Corps Diplomatique or CC for Corps Consulaire. The specific designation can vary from one country to another, but these are just a few examples that indicate your official function and diplomatic status within that country.
Okay, but it's merely an option we can consider, not a strict requirement, right?
Yes, well, it is not mandatory to have one, but of course, a consulate sign typically features the consul along with the national flag prominently displayed. That's part of it. No consulate I've seen lacks that display outside its door. It's also crucial, yes, returning to the topic of privileges, to emphasize the protection of the premises and ensuring security for all involved. Yes, suppose something unexpected happens. How can someone possibly know they are not allowed to enter this building if such information isn't clearly stated beforehand? So it's somewhat logical.
Asset protection is vital for preserving wealth and resources, influencing financial systems. It plays a significant role in ensuring the financial stability and security of future generations, especially concerning inheritance and investment opportunities.
Asset protection is a crucial topic. There are various options available here, so may I respond with a counter question to clarify?
Yes, okay, Mr. Kreuter, now think about it.
What positive changes have taken place in various aspects over the last 5 years? What positive changes have recently occurred in Germany? Positive changes in Europe or globally? What has changed positively? One example is enough. Just one. See?
Difficult.
Yes, but why? Why is it difficult? That's where it starts. So this is now about understanding personality, right? One must consider what specific aspects have positively changed over time.
Yes, one moment. It will, when people think differently than I do, they will say, we have less CO2 emissions in Germany. We have more electric cars. That's all positive. But is that, if I may interrupt you, is that really positive? It depends on the individual's values. For me, I don't care whether people drive an electric car or a gasoline car. Sorry, I really don't care. And CO2, while important, is also secondary in my life priorities. For me personally, I would truly have to dig deep within my thoughts to find something significant that has positively changed in the world over the last 5 years. Some people acknowledge that things have indeed become a bit greener. Germany has more wind turbines and green electricity. I have no idea, not in my world.
Okay, not in mine either. So my answer to this question is, and interestingly, when I typically ask others and pose this specific question to them, the answer I receive is nothing at all. Nothing at all, niente. No improvements have occurred. Everything remains the same. On the contrary, everything has unfortunately gotten worse and worse, to put it bluntly, and without sugarcoating the situation. What's clearly missing in this chaotic world is a sense of stability and security. Nothing is stable anymore. Everything is off the anchor. Everything is out of control. The Vienna Convention on Diplomatic and Consular Relations establishes essential rules for diplomatic interactions. Yes, that's indeed the diplomatic law, which encompasses these specific privileges and protections. There's a distinct set of laws specifically for diplomats. Okay, it's been around for 71 years. Unchanged, the same, right? By accepting the offer I am presenting to you, which involves attaining a significant diplomatic position, you can effectively counteract this current negative trend and simultaneously gain the valuable opportunity to withstand and overcome life's numerous adversities that may arise. You'll experience a sense of stability and security in various aspects of your life. You will have your life under control. Yes, to elaborate further, everything is quite chaotic and overwhelming, to put it bluntly, at this moment. Even in Germany, I happened to see a press conference conducted by the Greens political party just last week. Okay? I was really surprised, thinking, wow, does she actually mean what she says? In the end, this lady ultimately echoed the key objectives and initiatives of the C40 agenda, which were highlighted at the World Economic Forum, emphasizing the importance of sustainable urban development and climate action for cities worldwide. Okay? That's an incredibly significant and profound cut into the very fabric of your life. Yes, truly, no one can predict exactly what all of this will ultimately mean for us. Yes, we should either ban or significantly reduce meat consumption. Yes, because it ultimately doesn't align with maintaining the ecological balance of our planet. Private car journeys should be significantly reduced by as much as 95% to improve environmental conditions. Air travel should be restricted for leisure activities and not utilized for vacations to reduce environmental impact. What else did she say? Actually, we should definitely rely on the train for transportation, but even then it presents its own limitations. Yes, you would more or less only be allowed to go to Rome 6 times a year. So something like that, okay? These are truly absurd and utterly ridiculous ideas that make no sense at all. Yes, but this is indeed a very deep cut.
Indeed, the specific program you want is designed to help you achieve that goal effectively. There is an ever-increasing influence from technology on your private life and personal choices. The individuals I represent, especially wealthy entrepreneurs and millionaires, have clearly stated they want no involvement in that proposal or situation.
So if I'm sitting here as a millionaire and someone comes along and says, you can't eat meat anymore starting tomorrow, I'd be like, snorts, what is that? Okay, or you won't be able to travel anymore. If you have the valuable opportunity to disconnect from this limiting narrow-mindedness, then I strongly encourage you to take that step and do it. Absolutely, especially considering that Germany has been historically recognized as a land rich with influential poets and profound thinkers, as well as a haven for free spirits who embrace creativity and intellectual exploration. Where has all that gone? Yes, where is it? It's gone. But it all has to do with the fact that it's quite easy. People become scared or frightened. Yes, fear, especially like with the coronavirus situation. Fear. They will fear. Okay, Ukraine war, fear. Yes, climate change causes fear. Yes, they instill deep fear in people, making them overly submissive and compliant. The most significant issue I face, which also negatively impacts my clients, is causing them to disengage from our services and support. I don't have to fear this situation or that circumstance at all. Yes, I indeed hold diplomatic status. I have the freedom to travel wherever I desire. I eat my steak in the Bahamas. Outdone.
then I have completely finished with that task. Just one more example.
I saw an interesting experiment with fleas, and that was many years ago. Okay? Laugh softly. So it was like a jar. Okay, you put fleas in there. You carefully open the lid, and then they quickly came out. They can jump 2 meters high, those things. Okay? So then you left these little fleas in the glass jar with the lid securely on for 3 whole days. What happened? When you carefully opened the lid, the fleas surprisingly no longer jumped out. The fleas only jumped as high as they were accustomed to the lid being positioned above them.
The next generation and the one that followed were deeply influenced by their genes and cultural identity. They systematically cut individuals off from their basic rights and freedoms, effectively instilling fear and intimidation within them to maintain control and power.
And that is today's system. Absolutely horrific, to put it quite bluntly.
Well, and then there is, in Asterix and Obelix, there was this small, charming Gallic village. Yes, that's right. That region was not conquered by the empire, where the diverse inhabitants still had their own opinions and were able to think for themselves.
Exactly.
For them, this video and this particular podcast episode are likely just the perfect content to listen to. Wouldn't you agree?
To counteract that, okay, logically that can't be true, and I sincerely apologize for that. Yes, but that's not meant to be bad or negative. Of course, I unfortunately can't assist any cashier working at Aldi. I'm sorry. We specialize in serving individuals who have the financial means to afford our services, and we strive to make their lives more pleasant, beautiful, and stable in every possible way.
Exciting? Exciting. In the end, it totals over 60 minutes long. This engaging conversation, this insightful interview. And it continues to be exciting. Let's make it 2 parts. So for part 1, I'm genuinely looking forward to receiving the feedback. And yes, I will go ahead and put the contact details right here for your convenience. If you are feeling impatient, you can certainly reach out to Dr. Spies right now. However, we will also publish the highly anticipated second part very soon, and then everything will seamlessly come together. Many questions that remain unanswered at this time will also be addressed in the second part. But again, it's over an hour long. In the second part of the document, you will find some comprehensive and detailed information, along with, I would say, interesting anecdotes, but heartwarming anecdotes that are sure to make you smile. I really enjoyed it. Feel free to leave any questions or comments you may have right below this video for us to address. If you enjoyed it, please recommend it to others. Create an engaging Instagram story and share it on WhatsApp with friends worldwide, as well as on your LinkedIn profile. And especially, this is an important topic. You likely know someone who is affected. If you're genuinely interested and have been engaged enough to watch and listen this far, then you likely know people for whom this information is truly exciting. And simply send them the direct link to the podcast episode or the relevant YouTube video. So I'm truly looking forward to it, and I hope you enjoy part 2.